The war had reached the edge of human space for many cycles. The Kareth Dominion had conquered star systems. Without mercy, their fleets moved like silent storms across the galaxy. Planets fell, one after another. Civilizations surrendered before the Dominion armies even landed. They believed no species could resist them. Then they encountered humanity. Humans were new to the galactic stage. Their technology was not the most advanced. Their fleets were smaller than most interstellar powers, but humans had something the Dominion had never faced before. They refused to break. Every human colony fought back. Every human soldier resisted, even when defeat seemed certain. Dominion commanders could not understand it. Among the Dominion officers, one name was respected across the fleet: Captain Liara Veth. She was known as a perfect hunter, calm mind, cold discipline, precise tactics. Her cruiser had captured many enemy officers before. Now she had a new mission: capture a human warrior alive. The Dominion wanted to understand the strange strength of this species. Liara accepted the mission without hesitation. Her fleet arrived near a small grey moon that orbited a blue human world. Scanners detected a hidden human outpost, built deep within the rocky surface. A small force, easy prey. The Dominion attack began at dawn. Dropships descended through the thin, dust-filled atmosphere. Dominion soldiers advanced across the moon in perfect formation. Human defenses opened fire immediately. Bright flashes of weapons lit the battlefield. The humans were outnumbered, outgunned, surrounded. Yet they did not retreat. Liara watched the battle through her visor. Human soldiers fought from broken stone trenches. Some were wounded, but still firing. Others pulled injured comrades to safety. Their resistance was fierce and stubborn. Then Liara noticed something unusual. Near the center of the outpost, a single human warrior was holding the line. Dominion troops were attempting to advance through a narrow canyon, but the human blocked the path almost alone. His armor was scarred and damaged. His rifle glowed from overheating. Yet he kept firing. Every time Dominion soldiers tried to push forward, he forced them back. Liara stepped closer to observe. The human moved with raw determination. When his rifle finally failed, he threw it aside and drew a combat blade. Two Dominion soldiers rushed him. The human struck with powerful speed. One soldier fell immediately, another stumbled back. Felt something unfamiliar. Respect. Finally, a Dominion stunt blast struck the human in the chest. He collapsed onto the dusty ground. Liara approached slowly. Secure him alive, she ordered. Dominion soldiers obeyed quickly. Minutes later, the human warrior was transported to her cruiser. Inside the detention chamber, medical drones treated his injuries. Liara stood nearby, watching. The human slowly opened his eyes. His breathing was steady. Instead of panic, he simply studied his surroundings. Then he looked directly at Liara. "So you are the one who captured me," he said calmly. Liara crossed her arms. "You fought well for someone who knew defeat was certain." The human gave a tired smile. "Name is Daniel Reyes, Human Defense Forces." Liara activated her recording device. "Why did you continue fighting when surrender would have saved your life?" Daniel glanced toward the stars outside the observation window. "Because surrender would not save the colony behind us." Liara frowned slightly. "Your outpost was doomed." Daniel nodded slowly. "Maybe, but every minute we delayed your forces gave our people more time to escape." Liara considered this. "You sacrificed your soldiers for civilians." Daniel looked back at her. "That is not sacrifice, that is responsibility." The answer confused her. Dominion warriors fought for victory and survival, not for strangers they would never meet. During the following days, Liara questioned Daniel many times. She expected anger or hatred. Instead, she found something else. Daniel remained calm. Sometimes he asked questions about her species. Sometimes he spoke about Earth. He described forests filled with green life. Oceans that stretched beyond the horizon, cities bright with human energy. Liara had conquered many worlds, but she had never heard someone describe a planet with such warmth. One cycle she asked him directly, "Why do humans care so much for each other?" Daniel thought for a moment, "Because we know life is fragile when someone stands beside you in the dark. Protect them, simple as that." Liara felt a strange silence inside her mind. The Dominion valued strength and dominance, humans valued connection. That difference fascinated her. Then one day everything changed. A warning alarm exploded through the cruiser. Human boarding craft had slipped past the defensive perimeter. Explosions echoed through the hull. Emergency lights filled the corridors. Dominion soldiers rushed toward the battle. Liara immediately headed for the detention wing. The prisoner must not escape, but when she arrived, chaos had already reached the chamber. A nearby explosion had shattered several control panels. The containment system flickered dangerously. Liara moved closer to secure the area. Another violent blast shook the corridor. A heavy metal beam collapsed from the ceiling. Liara was thrown to the floor. Pain shot through her leg. The beam trapped her beneath its weight. Inside the chamber, the power grid failed completely. The containment field vanished. Daniel Reyes slowly stood. He was free. Liara tried to reach her weapon, but the debris pinned her arm. For a moment the two enemies looked at each other. Daniel walked toward the fallen beam. Liara prepared herself. If he attacked, she could not defend herself. Instead, Daniel crouched beside the wreckage. "Hold still," he said quietly. With visible effort, he lifted the heavy beam. Liara pulled her leg free. "You are helping me," she said with disbelief. Daniel shrugged slightly. "You kept me alive earlier. Seems fair." Another explosion thundered. Nearby human voices echoed through the corridor. Liara realized the truth. "Your rescue team has arrived." Daniel nodded. Probably he helped her stand, even though they were enemies. Moments later, armed human soldiers burst into the corridor, weapons raised. Their leader froze when he saw Daniel. "Commander Reyes." Daniel raised his hand calmly. "Stand down." The soldiers hesitated, but obeyed. Liara stared at him in confusion. "You could have escaped immediately," she said. "You could have killed me." Daniel shook his head. "That would not make anything better." One human soldier spoke urgently. "Sir, the ship is unstable. We must withdraw." Daniel nodded. Then he turned to Liara. "You should leave to your crew needs." Their captain. Liara looked at him carefully. "Why show mercy to an enemy?" Daniel smiled gently. "Because war already creates enough monsters. Someone has to stay human." The words stayed in Liara's mind long after the humans departed. The cruiser survived the attack. Repairs took many cycles, but something inside Captain Liara Veth had changed. She could no longer see humans as simple enemies. They were something rare. A species whose greatest strength was not power but heart. Far away among the stars, Daniel Reyes stood on the bridge of a human ship. He looked toward the endless galaxy. The war would continue. Battles would still be fought. But somewhere out there, an alien captain now carried a new understanding. Sometimes the strongest weapon in the universe is compassion. And that strength had come from a single human heart.